everybody, it's Dr. Jo, and today I'm going to show you some stretches and exercises for greater trochanteric bursitis. What? Basically, that's hip bursitis, but there's lots of bursa in your hip, and this one is specifically over the greater trochanter. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So the first stretch is going to be for the IT band. The IT band runs all the way up your hip, down past the knee, and it lies right over that greater trochanter where the bursa is. So it's really important to get that stretched out. I'm gonna do the first one lying down using a strap. You can use a belt or a dog leash, but you want it to be something that doesn't give. So not those resistive bands, but something that is nice and tight. Loops are nice because you can just wrap it around your foot. So you're just gonna lie down, get comfortable. You want to keep your leg as straight as you can, but you also want to relax that leg because this is a stretch. So bring your leg up by using the strap just until you feel some tightness. You might feel it in your hamstrings a little bit, but you don't want it to be a tight stretch on your hamstrings. So once you feel a little bit of tightness, then drop your leg over across your body, and you should feel that stretch on the outside of your hip, kind of sometimes up into the butt area a little bit, maybe even down past the knee, but that's stretching out that IT band. So since this is a stretch, you're going to hold it for 30 seconds and do that 3 times. So coming back up, take a little break, pull it up till you feel a little bit of tension, and then cross the body. Try and keep the upper part of your body down and just roll at your hip. So it's not coming up like this where this part's coming up. You really want just that hip to be rolling over. And then back down. So the next one is going to be a piriformis stretch or a glute stretch. It kind of stretches both areas, but we're going to do that with a figure 4. So it's really important as well to stretch out that area because all of this happens here. So if this is tight or not working right, it's going to put a lot of pressure over that bursa and then make it inflamed, causing that bursitis. So if you want to stretch this side, you're going to take this leg and cross it over. So just have that ankle right above the knee. If this is too much, you can lean back a little bit, but if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can slide your heel up a little bit and then lean forward. But try and keep your back as straight as you can, because if you're curling, you're not quite getting that stretch. So try and keep that back straight, come up and stretch it and hold that for 30 seconds, doing that 3 times. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can lie down doing it so the floor is supporting your back. Still making that figure 4, but this time instead of bringing your back forward, take your hands, grab that other leg, and pull up towards you this way. So you're still getting that stretch right through here and here, but then your back is supported. So if you have some back issues, this one might be a little bit more comfortable. If you're not super flexible and it's really hard for you to grab underneath that leg, you can take that strap again, wrap it around that leg, and then pull it up with the strap. So sometimes people have a hard time grabbing under there, and the strap really helps out with that. So again, 30 seconds, 3 of those. So with the strengthening, you really want to get this whole area nice and strong, because a lot of times when you get that bursitis, people think that it's just tightness, but a lot of times it can come from weakness as well. People, I think, sometimes get confused with tightness being not weak because that muscle is tight, but a lot of times it's weak and the muscle goes into a spasm, and that's why it's tight. And so you want to strengthen it to get it going and working how it's supposed to again. So sometimes that's a little misconception that if it's tight, you don't want to strengthen it. Strength does not mean tight. Strength means strong. So we're going to start off with a clamshell. And with the clamshell exercise, you want to make sure that your hips are straight up and down, nice and perpendicular to the floor. If your hips are rolling back, you're not quite working those muscles that you want to. So if you feel like they keep rolling while you're doing the exercise, you can lean back against a wall to support it, but eventually you want to try and do it without leaning against the wall. Make sure your head is relaxed. I'm just kind of holding mine up so I can talk to you and show you what's going on. But bend your knees and prop them up on each other and have your ankles propped up on each other. Your ankles are going to stay together the whole time. And then the top leg is just going to come a little bit off the other one. But again, it doesn't have to go high, because if you start rolling your hip backwards, then you're not getting that exercise. So just coming up and back down. So again, it doesn't have to be high, because see, then my hips start rolling. So really just bringing it up and coming down. And if you're doing it correctly, usually the first 3 or 4 aren't super hard, but after you get more than that, you're really going to feel it kind of in this area here. So you're just opening up like a clamshell. So if you're really sore in that area, I'd just start off with about 10. 10 might be too much, and you can break it up into 2 sets of 5. But if that's easy, then you can start working your way up from there. So then the next one is going to be getting a little bit harder. And so now you're going to do a side plank. With side planks, you're working the core on this side, and it's equally important to have a strong core, because once again, if this isn't working right, then your hips aren't going to be working right, and then that's going to cause problems. And a lot of times that hip bursitis comes from a weak core, because then it's not stabilizing those hips, and then things start working in ways that they're not supposed to. So with the side plank, you can do a modified side plank to start off with, and then go into a full side plank if those become easy. The important parts of a side plank is make sure your elbow and your shoulder are pretty lined up. So it's not way out here and it's not under here, because then that's going to put a lot of pressure on your shoulder. And you don't want to get one thing feeling better and then start irritating something else. Keep your legs together. This one's, I'm going to start off with a modified. But you want to end up getting yourself in a pretty straight line. So I'm going to kind of bring my hips up and forward if my knees are slightly forward. And I'm just going to stay on my knees and stay on my elbow. I like to put my hand on my hip. You don't have to. You can just kind of have it wherever. But I feel like that gives me a little bit more stability to come up into that side plank. So just bringing those hips up and forward. So now you can see I'm pretty much in a straight line. So I don't want to be like this. I really want to push up, because that's going to work those side abdominal muscles, those obliques, and just getting that core nice and strong. So you might just be able to start off with like 10 to 15 seconds of this. You don't want to overdo it, because when you're working your core, sometimes it doesn't feel like a lot while you're doing it, but you're going to be really sore later. So make sure you build yourself up. Don't do too much and then get super sore and then not want to do any later. But if that becomes easy, then you can straighten out your legs, keep your feet together, still have that elbow pretty close under your shoulder, and then same thing, just coming up into that side plank. So again, same thing, you might just want to start off with 10 to 15 seconds, kind of work your way up there, or do a couple of those 10 to 15 seconds. Then you can go into a regular plank, which is rolling over onto your stomach. So this way, all is very similar. You can start off with on your knees doing a modified plank, keeping those elbows right underneath the shoulders, trying to keep that core nice and tight. And then you can just come up like this. You can lift your legs if you want to. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. Squeeze those booty muscles in when you're doing it, because you want to have that pelvis in a neutral position when you're doing a plank. So if you're up like this, not really good. If you're down like this, not really good. But if you squeeze those booty muscles in, that helps. But you can also put your legs down if you want to. Whatever's most comfortable for you. So again, just starting off with 10 to 15 seconds of those. If it becomes really easy, then you can go into the full plank on your toes and your elbows. So then just this, but still make sure you're squeezing those booty muscles in, because that's what really helps get you in a nice straight line, works the core, works the pelvis area. So then you're going to lie back on your back, and we're just going to do some straight leg raises, which again is just working those hip muscles. You want them nice and strong, because that's going to help protect that area. So the side that you want to exercise, put it straight out. I like to keep the other side bent up a little bit, because then it takes the pressure off your back. Sometimes if you leave it straight out, then you get more of an arch in your back, and that becomes uncomfortable. So I like having it propped up, and then it also gives you a target, because you don't want to swing your leg all the way up. You want to go nice and controlled and just bring it to about the height of the other side. So try and keep that leg nice and straight. pull up those toes. That will help lock out that leg and that knee. And then just slowly lift up to about right here. So you don't need to go higher than that. You don't need to kick it all the way up like that, because that actually makes it easier. If you stop right here and go slowly back down, that makes it harder and it works the muscles better, because then you're using your muscles versus just using momentum, just flying up and down. So again, just starting off with about 10, 15 of those, and then you can work your way up from there. Now I'm going to roll onto my side to do a side lying abduction straight leg raise. Now with this one, the top leg is going to be the one exercise. So if I was working this side, I'd go the other way, but so you can see what I'm doing here. The bottom leg you can bend, just again to kind of take some pressure off everything. You can lie all the way down. You don't have to prop yourself up on your elbow. It's just easier for me to show you propped up. Again, just like those clamshells, you want your hips to be straight up and down. You want them to be perpendicular to the floor. So if you start rolling back, you might not be quite ready for these yet. Make sure you're in this position. Same thing, pull those toes up to help lock out that leg. But this time when you're lifting, lift with your heel up and go slightly back, because you want your whole body to be in a straight line. So if you go back just a little bit, that will help, and that will help really work these muscles right here. So going back this way. So it's not this way, that's using different muscles, leading with the heel and going back just a little bit. So again, it doesn't have to be a super high kick, just make sure it's nice and controlled. So again, just starting off with 10 to 15 of these and then working your way up from there. So now we're going to roll back onto our stomach and do some leg extensions. So once you get in this position, again, get comfortable. If you're up on your elbows and that's not comfortable, then make sure you're lying down with your head supported. If sideways makes your neck hurt, if you have some neck issues, push the pillow up a little bit and put your forehead on it, and that will help a little bit, and then it'll help so your nose isn't going right into the floor. I'm just going to prop up a little bit again so you can see. So same concept. Keep that leg as straight as you can. Pull those toes up. That helps lock it out. Now this time, keep those hips on the ground. A lot of times people want to do this, and those hips come up, but then you're not really doing the exercise. You're using your hips to roll to bring that leg up. So really just squeeze everything tight and just lift it a little bit. It doesn't have to be far off the ground, just enough to get that movement, locking everything out, working those muscles, working those gluteus muscles in the back. So again, same thing, just work on 10 to 15. If that becomes easy, you can work your way up from there. If you get to 25 and it's super easy, you can add a little ankle weight for all of those. The last one on the ground is going to be in quadruped or all fours, and this is still going to work those extensor muscles, those gluteus muscles. So getting on all fours or in that quadruped, same kind of concept where you want your hands to be pretty up and down with your shoulders right underneath, because if you're this way or if you're way over this way, you're going to put a lot of weird pressure on your shoulder, and again, you don't want to end up hurting something else while you're trying to work on getting something else better. So with this one, all you have to do is just kick your legs straight out. So try and keep your back nice and straight, so it's not sagging down, it's not arched up. You're trying to kind of keep it in a straight line, get that core nice and tight. And then try not to lean to one side when you kick that leg out, but just try and kick straight out and then come back in. So same thing, just starting off with about 10 of those and then working your way up from there. So those were your stretches and exercises for greater trochanteric bursitis. If you want to help support my channel, make sure and click up here, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking down here. And remember, be safe. Have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.